Hi guys, happy Wellness Wednesday. I'm in a different place, a different spot. And I've got a lot of scratchy throat action happening, so I'm going to spin my water. I'm a few minutes early because I'm excited. I made elderberry syrup a couple years ago when my 5-year-old was a baby, and I didn't give it to her I guess as faithfully as I should have. So this summer and fall, I've been like staying on top of the elderberry syrup, and I feel like that's really helping us. We are gonna try it this fall and winter season. We've never really tried it consistently in cold and flu season, so we're gonna kind of just see how it goes. I can say though that I have my mother-in-law is actually the one who is reminding me, like, hey, don't forget to use elderberry syrup to beef up the immune system. So I got to doing a little bit of Googling, and I'm not set up tonight to share my screen, but I was doing some research. I'm gonna pull it up here. You can just look it up on WebMD, really, but you can Google. There are some government studies that show that elderberry fights flu symptoms. So it's really effective also in helping prevent flu, kind of helping your cells to be protected from the different influenza viruses, but it also helps to shorten the duration. So heck yes, like I want that. I want all the viral protection that I can get in the cold and flu season. I used to be one of those people that was like really super prone to catching something all the time. So yeah, elderberry is my friend. And I'm going to be pumping my 2 little girls full of elderberry syrup. Tonight we're going to make the syrup. We're not going to make the gummies. I don't have the time or the equipment to like show you all the gummies, but I'm just going to kind of walk you through the syrup and then give you like some instructions on how to do that. But I also wanted to make sure that I tell you about, let's see, what was the other thing about? Let's see, there's the efficacy of elderberry extract on preventing the flu. Oh, reducing cold duration and symptoms, and it also being effective for the cold. So you guys, Google elderberry syrup. I get mine from Amazon. I don't have anywhere local. Ooh, can you see that? Oh, hello. I don't have anywhere local that I could get them. So I get these on Amazon. This is Frontier Co-op brand. I want to show you what they look like. It's a pound. Okay, it's affordable, maybe 20 something dollars. I want to show you what they look like. They are like the tiniest dried, like teeny tiny dried, dehydrated, almost like blueberries, but they're teeny tiny. You get a lot of batches out of this bag. It's a 1 pound bag, and for 1 batch of elderberry syrup, you use 2/3 cup of elderberries, so the dried elderberries. So you put 2/3 cup dried elderberries into a saucepan, like this. Don't look at how dirty my saucepan is. Like this, and then you fill that with 3 cups of water. You bring it to a boil you just bring it to a boil for a couple of minutes, maybe 5 minutes max. And as soon as it gets to boiling, steadily, maybe 5 minutes or so, you reduce it down to a simmer, and you simmer it for 40 minutes. And that's when the magic happens. That is when your elderberries are infusing all of their goodness into that water. You can also, I've seen this in a couple different recipes. The Wellness Mama recipe is one that I like to use a lot, where you can add cinnamon and ginger, like a cinnamon stick or ginger powder. You can definitely do that and let it simmer, but I got you covered with oil, so we're going to add that later. So I'm just going to kind of show you my, oh, can y'all see that? I'm going to tilt you down. This is the elderberry syrup, the water, and the berries that have simmered for 40 minutes, and then I've let it completely cool. And guys, this is so easy. Like, I had this happening while I was cooking dinner, no big deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoot. I'm going to scoot my really fancy camera setup at my dining table to show you guys kind of how I'm doing this. Ta-da. Okay, so this is a glass Pyrex, and we're just going to pour these elderberries. You'll see that? We're gonna pour them through our little strainer, and we're gonna try really hard not to spill. Hello. There we go. Can you see all those elderberries in there? These you are not going to eat. You're not going to save these. All we want is the juice from these. We don't need, ooh, what a noise. We don't need these anymore. So we are pressing all the juice out of them with our little strainer sieve here, and really try to get out as much juice as you can, because yeah, that's where the magic is. I'm sure I could probably do this. A lot of people will use like a nut milk bag or a cheesecloth, which you can really just squeeze with your hands and really get this out, but this is my preferred method. So I kind of stir it around and make sure that I'm really getting it all out. Also, this is easy. Like I don't have to clean a bag or anything. Okay, so these are pretty dried out. You can keep working with it as long as you want. Wellness Wednesday. By the way, you guys, this is doTERRA Convention Week. So you may be watching some of the convention streaming. I know Gala is streaming live tonight, so I'm definitely gonna have to check in and look into that later. You should check in that too. It's free to stream their gala and see all of their leaders walk the purple carpet. It's really cool. So anyway, these are all the dried elderberries that I've squeezed the juice out of. You don't want this anymore. Compost this, toss it, put it in your garden. There's nothing good about this. Everything that's good and magic is in our beautiful bowl. My glass is so dirty. Sorry, guys. So what we're gonna do with this now, and this again has cooled. Like I've let this sit on my stove and cool. This isn't like hot off the burner. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna use my local honey. This is the local honey that I buy. And the reason you want local, obviously, if you're familiar, the reason you want local honey is you want the bees to be, making honey from the different plants and trees that they've pollinated that may be supporting your allergies, or we call them seasonal threats. We don't call them allergies. So this could support your seasonal threats because, you're kind of getting some of that pollen to those indigenous plants that you might have sensitivities to. So that's why I always like to say, try to get some local honey. This local honey is just as cheap as the regular kind. So I always get this kind, whatever you have. I don't know exactly what this has boiled down to. It was 3 cups of water, if you recall. And it's definitely simmered down and boiled down and gotten more concentrated. And then we're gonna add 1 cup of honey. So we're literally making this into a syrup. Got my little measuring cup guy here, and I'm gonna point y'all down again so you can see. Got my little measuring cup guy here. I probably should do this the faster way. Lovely. By the way, local honey is what my pediatrician recommends we use in lieu of over-the-counter cough syrup. She says it works better at eliminating phlegm and thinning mucus and that sort of thing. So, honey for the win. Honey is also really something that my pediatrician was saying is really great for the bronchial tubes. It's all the respiratory goods. So if you can add a little honey to your tea, if you can give your kids a spoonful of local honey. Not only will that support their seasonal irritations, but it will also help their breathing. So I love that. So you can see here how like the honey's kind of settled at the bottom. So I really want to stir that in and get that combined. Now, while I'm doing that, I'm also going to combine, guess what? I'm going to combine my best friend, OnGuard. You knew I was going to use OnGuard, right? Like, I can't not use OnGuard for something cold and flu related. So OnGuard, again, I've posted this in our Essentially Crunchy group, I don't know, a million times about how great OnGuard is at protecting against cold and flu, about how it kills all these germs. We joke that it smells like Christmas, cleans like bleach, because it really does. It cleans better than bleach and Lysol. There's all these amazing blind studies done. OnGuard's amazing. But for the human body, it really is a preventative for lots of viral problems and invaders and things like that. So we want to add some OnGuard. Now, I am going to give the caveat that because OnGuard is wonderful, it has cinnamon, it has rosemary, wild orange, clove, eucalyptus, rosemary. Oh, I said rosemary, yeah. It's spicy with that cinnamon and that clove. So I have to go easy on this for my girls. I don't like make it as heavy as I would make it for myself. I can put a drop of OnGuard in my mouth with some water and swish it around as a mouthwash, and that's just fine, but it's a little too spicy for my girls. So I'm gonna put into this, here we go. I'm gonna put into this large container that I have here, large-ish. I'm gonna put maybe about 4 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm also gonna add more wild orange. There's already wild orange in OnGuard, but I'm gonna kind of flavor it and give it that fun citrus too. There we go. So 2 things about wild orange. Wild orange, like many of the citrus oils, is a cleanser. The citrus oils all kind of act like a cleanser. They all act like a germ killer. Lemon is a really great one too. You could do lemon instead of wild orange. You do lemon and wild orange, but lemon is a great oil that thins mucus. So if you're having any sort of respiratory problems, this would be really great to help to add to this, a couple of drops to thin mucus. The wild orange is gonna be beefy for the immune system, just like the lemon. So just kind of personal preference. And then the OnGuard that we added, again, the OnGuard, I have my oil Bible over here for you guys because I wanted y'all to see the protective blend and all of the, you'll see that the protective blend, all the amazing uses that it has. So what this is saying is this kills airborne germs and pathogens. It's a great immune boost for seasonal threats, colds and flu. This says you can even gargle with it if you have throat infections, if you have sores. It's great for fungal issues. Oh my gosh, so many good things. So yeah, this definitely we want to add. And again, you can get on, what is it? It's ePubMed. You can get on ePubMed and search OnGuard and flu and OnGuard and viruses and things like that. And it will pull up different government studies where they have looked up, you know, the efficacy of OnGuard on various illnesses and germs and things like that. So that's really fascinating, and I feel like that really revives my trust in the oils. I mean, I have my personal experience that says, oh, OnGuard really helps when my throat is scratchy and I gargle with it. Or I can really work on fighting off the crud when I'm not feeling well by using OnGuard topically or internally. My preference is internally, but to each his own. We also diffuse OnGuard. It's diffusing right now in my girls' room while they're sleeping. I use it on them topically. I mean, all the ways, but I really like using it internally. But I wanted to show you guys too. Yeah, there was a ePubMed, and you can look it up, where you can find it in the group, that they've shown that OnGuard, specifically OnGuard, can help to reduce influenza virus infection. And they were saying that that doesn't affect the viral binding or the cellular internalization of those cells. Anyway, it's all the science language, which is kind of confusing to read to you, but fascinating, and I love it, and you should definitely check that out. So I've added my oils here, and we can stop here. Like this is your elderberry syrup. Now the way that you're gonna take this is important. I told you I've made elderberry syrup before, and I didn't feel like it helped much. That's because I wasn't taking it consistently. Adults are to take a tablespoon a day just for maintenance, just for like beefing up the immune system. If you are under the weather, you can take a tablespoon 4 times a day, every couple of hours. So you can really, really, really support yourself if you're not feeling well. Now, children, on the other hand, are to take a teaspoon a day just for maintenance, or they can, like similar to the adults, they would take maybe 4 doses or so, 3 or 4 doses, and the teaspoon amount. So that is what I do with my elderberry syrup. And guys, you can put this in a cute mason jar. You can give this away as a gift. I feel like that would be a really awesome, teacher gift or mom gift. Like, hey, please don't get sick. Here's some elderberry syrup. But yeah, there are also studies about elderberry syrup being really helpful for the elderly. So elderberry syrup all the way. And guys, this is super cheap. Like you can see, I think this was $23 for this 1 pound bag of elderberries. I'm gonna use it at least 5 times. I'm gonna make 5 batches of this because I only need 2/3 cups for each batch of elderberry syrup. So this is gonna last me a while. It's really affordable. If you've seen elderberry syrup that is at Sprouts and Whole Foods, there were some gummies because I thought my oldest daughter would like the gummies, but it was literally like 10 days worth of gummies for $20 or $30. It was not sustainable. Like I can't keep that pace up. That's just a lot. So I love making it because it's super easy. You saw how easy it was to make. I put a lid on this and I can have my girls have a spoonful of it every morning before we go to school. So we love the elderberry syrup. I will say that it does stain a little bit. This is the caveat. This is what I don't love about it in syrup form. If you are, putting a spoonful to your mouth and your kid dribbles all over their shirt, it's like blueberry colored. It's really dark. It's a concentrate. So it's kind of messy. So my favorite way to use it is we make gummies. And these you can see, for the sake of time, I'm not going to make you gummies tonight, but you can see these are some gummies that I had in my freezer. And what we do with them is we just get like unflavored gelatin. It would be better for your gut health if you got like a grass-fed gelatin, like what's that brand? Vital Proteins has one. It's Lake something. I'm picturing it. There's like a green tube and an orange tube. I think the orange tube is the gelatin and the green one's the collagen. You don't want collagen. You want gelatin for this. And you're literally just going to make little Jell-O gummies with your elderberry syrup and your gelatin powder. And I have these cute little silicone molds. Shout out to Hillary LeMay. She is who turned me on to these cute little silicone molds. And I will give my girls maybe like 4 of these little bitty things that equal about a teaspoon. And my girls love these. They think they're candy. I can totally get them to take them, no problem. They ask for them and it doesn't stain anything. So it's super easy. Like just get some gummy powder and mix it in and pour it in some molds. It's so easy. If y'all are interested in me demoing that another night, I can do that for you. Just let me know. But yeah, these are kind of the 2 ways we ingest our elderberry syrup, and this one's a little less messy, so I do kind of prefer this way. And again, I do infuse it with OnGuard for sure. I also wanted to show you guys some other really big immune oils. Oh, before I get off that, the recipe called for cinnamon and ginger. There is cinnamon in OnGuard. You could also just use plain cinnamon essential oil if you wanted to, but I like OnGuard because it has all these huge immune heavy hitters. And then I've done this before. I didn't do that with this batch, but you can also add ginger. Ginger has really highly anti-inflammatory properties. So this would be really good for, the body's already kind of struggling with inflammation when you're kind of run down and maybe more susceptible to catching things. So ginger would be a really great addition. The citrus for some antibacterial kind of germ killing, and also for flavor, just to kind of give it a more citrusy flavor. Elderberries taste to me kind of like they're a lot like a blueberry to me. Like a blueberry blended with a cranberry. It's kind of an odd combination. But the flavor's fine, and as long as there's honey in it, my girls are down. They love honey, so they'll take that for sure. But I wanted to show you another thing that I make. Yes. Okay, I want to show you another way that we work on the flu prevention, and that is with my little immune bomb. Ooh. Yes, I used to call it a flu bomb, but it's an immune bomb. It's good for so many things. And you can see my really pretty tape and label handiwork. Ooh. Basically, this is just a 10 milliliter roller bottle. And did you know y'all can reuse your roller bottles? You just pop off the little top. Yeah. This has OnGuard. It has melaleuca, oregano, frankincense, and lemon. So that's your flume blend. Those are all huge immune boosting heavy hitters. The oregano is awesome because it can act like an antifungal, but it can also act like an antibacterial. I've taken it internally for different respiratory things that are kind of getting stuck and gunky. You know, when your mucus turns green and you're like, oh no, this is bad news. I've taken it internally to help that. Frankincense is our enhancing oil. It acts like a turbo boost to any other oil that it comes along with. The melaleuca is a huge disinfecting and immune boosting oil. So these are all immune oils. So we do 5 drops of each of those. And then I kind of extra powerhoused mine with copaiba. Copaiba, you guys, copaiba is everything. If you've not tried copaiba yet, you need to. This is quickly becoming my favorite. Oh, hey, Jennifer, I just saw your thumbs up. Are you a copaiba girl too? Because copaiba is like my love. I love to put a drop under my tongue. Copaiba is amazing for any sort of like discomfort. It's great for anxious feelings. It's great for cellular support. It's actually an oil that supports your endocannabinoid system, which is what a lot of people are seeking to help when they're using CBD oil or cannabis or something like that. So this is actually better affecting your endocannabinoid system than cannabis is, which is amazing. And you're not getting high or any sort of like psychotic, is that the word I'm looking for? Psychotic effects? Yeah. So copaiba is amazing, but copaiba is also similar to frankincense. It's a really big cellular support oil. So I've added that to this too. I've also added black pepper. One of the oilers in our private education group, which is one of our like wholesale member perks. So if you're not already a wholesaler, definitely reach out to me and ask me about that. But one of my really good oiler buddies, her name is Kat, and she always does, she calls it Frank and Co and Pep. Every day she did an experiment of doing frankincense, copaiba, and black pepper under her tongue, and noticed like a huge difference in energy and stuff like that. Anyway, you'll have to check it out if you're in our group. But it's also great for cellular support and immune function. So this is my like super beefed up flu bomb blend. And I've made it in a little roller. Like I said, it's 5 drops of each of those. So this is pretty strong. And the rest is coconut oil, the fractionated liquid kind. And then this is what I roll on my kids' feet before they put socks on and shoes on in the morning. And this is what I roll down their spine at night. I have really been working on Symphony of the Cells, if you're familiar with that. It's a really great little book. It's like a little $13 workbook where you can look up all these different oil protocols for massaging onto the back. So you're layering oils in different orders for different things. So like if you have a respiratory issue, you would layer a certain set of oils. And if you had some hormonal imbalances, you would layer this different set of oils. And it's a massage. It's like a slow, you're rubbing one oil at a time into the spine. And the reason you do that in the spine is your spine is housing your central nervous system. mean, your brain and your spinal cord, like that is the information system of your body. Like that is what is neurologically communicating to your organs, to the rest of you. So putting this down your spine and allowing that to absorb that way is really, really great and really helpful for the immune system. So I've been just using this and rolling it down my girl's spine and really massaging it in rather than doing one oil at a time. Some nights I'll do, you know, depends what you have time for. Some nights we don't have time for that. Mommy's ready to like go to bed. But yeah, this is what I'll do down their spines, massage it in. I'll do it on their feet too. I could also do this on myself, but to be honest, I don't really that often. What I like to do with the OnGuard, Melaleuca, oregano, lemon, frankincense, black pepper, copaiba, what I like to do with those is put it in a little veggie capsule and take it if I'm feeling kind of yucky and under the weather. Another thing I really like to do, and I wanted to show you all this too, you could make a tea, and I've done this often, with just a mug of hot water, not steaming, just hot, and maybe two, three would probably be a little too spicy. I would just stick with two. You could do 2 drops of OnGuard in your water. You could also do a drop of lemon if you wanted some lemon, and a squirt of your local honey, and that would really calm the throat. You'd be getting that OnGuard internally, and that lemon helping to thin your mucus. Mucus, that's so gross. You can make yourself a little immune tea this way. So even if you're not under the weather yet, this would be a great, make this your fall ritual, make this your evening cup of tea, you know? That'd be really, really good for you. If you can get your kids to drink it, even better. Yeah, I'm really into that idea. If you can't stomach the idea of, if you're just like, oh, I'm not into tea yet, it's Texas and it's 1,000,000 degrees, then no worries. You can definitely do kind of like a spritzer, and we'll do that now. Kind of like, we'll do like a an elderberry shot spritzer. So I'm gonna show you guys down here. I'm gonna do just a tablespoon of my elderberry syrup, like we talked about. I have a sparkling water that's unsweetened. And all my ice melted. I guess I had this out too long. But I mean, this is like not much more than a shot. You could also add some magnesium to this and make it into like a magnesium mocktail. That's good. Like, I can taste the spiciness of the OnGuard. Like, I'm getting the cinnamon. I'm getting the wild orange because I put extra wild orange in there. But the honey makes it sweet, but it's not like, ugh, like icky sweet. So you can take your elderberry and your OnGuard this way too. So there's lots of ways. It's really good. Bottoms up, guys. I hope you make this. It's so easy. Really, like boiling elderberries, letting them simmer, smushing them, you know, getting all the moisture off, and then adding honey. That's literally elderberry syrup. And then I highly suggest you infuse with your beautiful essential oils. They're super easy. Oh, Jennifer, yes, I will post it here. It's essentially 2/3 cup of dried elderberries to 3 cups of water. You bring it to a boil, simmer it for 45 minutes, and then you strain it and add a cup of honey. It's like, I've made it so many times now that I don't even need a recipe. But yes, I will post it for you for sure, Jennifer. So yeah, we're staying stocked on this. I'm making sure that I always have the gummies in my fridge, or at least an extra batch of syrup. And anytime we get low, it's super easy to make. So trying to think, oh, sorry, sparkly water burp. So yeah, I hope this is helpful to you guys. Thanks for checking out our Wellness Wednesday today. I know this was kind of like a new setup. So let me know if you like it, or if you kind of prefer a more informational class type of setting. Again, those sources that I was talking about are online for the ePubMed, looking up the elderberry studies and the OnGuard studies. And just kind of, I mean, if you're skeptical, educate yourself. That is a really great place to look because those are government studies. So this isn't like doTERRA did their own study. Like, no, this is a government study showing those different things for flu and viral things. And then this is one of my favorite reference books. I refer to this, I mean, weekly for sure. But this is where I was reading that information about OnGuard, the protective blend. There's also several ideas that I was explaining to you about the, we call them a flu shot, but they're not, but where you're essentially making a flu bomb blend in, you know, a cup of tea or a glass of water and throwing it back. You can take these oils internally. doTERRA, their oils are certified pure therapeutic grade. And what that means is they've created a process for testing the purity and the quality of their essential oils. It's basically above organic. And that's really incredible that they do that. So doTERRA has created this standard, certified pure therapeutic grade. And then they also have third-party testing done just to kind of verify that these are indeed as pure and safe as they say they are. So these are pure oils from the plants. There's no fillers, there's no preservatives, there's no weird mystery stuff. In fact, you can go to sourcetoyou.com and you can plug in the SKU number on the bottom of your bottle of essential oil, and it'll pull up all the testing information on that batch of oil. It will tell you, you know, here are the levels of this constituent and that constituent, and here's the pure standard. I think they just call that certified pure therapeutic grade, but there might be another name for what they call it. But they're saying that, hey, we verify this is just oil from plant. There's like nothing else in here. And that's what you want. That is what is safe to ingest. Please do not make your elderberry syrup, go to Walmart and buy some weird oils and put them in there. No, guys, don't do that. Do not do that. That is basically fragrance chemicals. Like, don't put that in your body. Yeah, yuck. Most essential oils are actually fragrance grade. So like you wouldn't drink your perfume or your Glade plug-in or Glade air freshener spray. Like, don't drink those oils and don't put them on your skin. I mean, really, you don't need those anyway. Those are all kinds of toxic. So these essential oils are the ones that I recommend internally. So get yourself some OnGuard, get yourself some wild orange, make some flu bombs, make some elderberry syrup, get yourself pumped up and ready because, yeah, cold and flu season is on its way. My oldest daughter's school told us last week, hey, the flu's already here. I'm just like, no. So we're oiling up. We're taking our elderberry syrup. We're taking our oils internally. We're doing all the things. So yeah, we're trying to stay healthy. So if you have any questions for me about any of this, just reach out. If you don't yet have any of these oils and you are just maybe wanting to ask some questions, reach out to me. I'm not going to try to strong arm you into oils, but I'd be happy to give you any sort of answers that you might need. So yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate everybody checking in, and I hope you'll have a great night. Bye.